What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the second episode of the Love of Fighting podcast. We're joined by the legendary Octagon Warriors, smiling Sam Alvey. How you doing, Sam?
I am doing wonderful, my friend. How are you today?
We're great. Thank you for joining us. We've been texting for a long time, and this was the right time, the right moment for us to start this podcast. So I just want to ask you what's what are your predictions for the next fight card coming up this next weekend?
Yeah, well, there's 3 fights I am just positive of. Ashley Yoder's going to win, Sean Strickland's going to win, and then I am going to win. Those are my 3.
Exactly.
I'm crush it.
Exactly. You're gonna win, of course. My money's on you, Sam. You're gonna win.
Good, I'm going to make you some money.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So how do you think Sean Strickland is gonna go in there and beat Uriah Hall? You know, Uriah Hall has been on this 4-fight win streak, beat some great fighters. He beat Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman. Do you think that Chris Weidman win is a legitimate win? And after that, how is he gonna beat Sean Strickland if he wins?
Yeah, it's a legitimate win. I mean, he kind of checked the cake, but the foot broke. That's kind of the goal, break the other guy. Strickland's going to just overwhelm him. Strickland's got the best cardio in the UFC. He doesn't get tired, and Uriah does a little bit. Uriah slows down. Sean's going to come on early and just pepper him. And then as the fight goes on, Sean's going to be able to pick up the tempo and do whatever he wants.
So is he going to get a finish or it's going to be a decision?
Probably TKO. I'd say TKO round 4.
Yeah, I don't want to give a prediction right now because, you know, it's a podcast and I don't want to look so biased towards one guy or the other guy, you know. So, you know the fans, man. One minute Conor McGregor is a nice guy. They're like, oh, we want the bad guy, and he's the bad guy. They want the nice guy, you know. So I'm going with Strickland, but yeah, I don't want to get into that detail. So how are you going to beat Roman Kopylov? Give us a little bit game plan.
I'm going to give you my game plan, but I'm going to use every tool in my arsenal, and he's not going to be able to keep up with me.
Yeah. So, you know, I just don't want to rub it in your face. I don't want to be an asshole, but you've been on this little bit decline, you know. Do you think if you win this fight, you're going to keep your job in the UFC? I think you won the last fight, not the last fight, the fights before, the one that you fought in Spain, and the fight before after that. I don't remember his name. I kind of forgot this. Do you think that's the reason they kept you? They didn't say, "Hey Sam, warning."
Yeah, you know, if you look at my last 6 fights, I've been in a slump, obviously. The Da Un Young, I won that fight. The judges gave me a draw. Unacceptable. The judges should be fired. I felt I won the Ryan Spann fight. Before that, before that, I felt I won that one as well, but that wasn't as good a fight. And then my 2 fights before that, frickin' Mark Goddard, the worst referee in the UFC. Excuse me, the great referee. Stopped 2 fights in the mid takedown. So I've got an excuse for everything, but at the end of the day, I'm tired of having excuses. I got to go out there and win, and that's going to be my plan. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hurt him. I'm going to prove that I belong in or that I belong to stay in the UFC. I've already proven that I belonged in the UFC.
Yes, exactly.
I go out there and I proved that I belong to stay there.
Yeah, exactly. You belong in the UFC, and we've seen you great knockouts, great fights, and you obviously you won not the Marcus fight, but the 2 fights before that. You won that fight. I mean, I had it for you. I don't know where I put my scorecards. I want to show it to you, but I had you winning. But if you obviously you didn't watch the fights tonight last night, but a lot of robberies. I mean, a lot of people said that Corey Sandhagen won. I disagree, but Macy Barber fight, she won only 1 round, but I think one judge gave her 30-27, if I'm not mistaken. What's the deal with the judges?
The judges terrible in this sport. I don't understand how it's becoming that they're all bad at all times, but they are. They're terrible at their jobs. I suspect that something behind the scenes, something in the commission is saying they want more of this or more of that, and they're making the sport worse because of it. You can never trust a judge that they're all bad at their job, and that if they were to all be fired, it wouldn't. I mean, it would only help the sport.
Exactly. Like I said something before. I said maybe like we got five referees. Let's say we got five referees working tonight. One is in the octagon. One is resting. The other three should be judging. Isn't that better? I mean, those judges are boxing judges. They don't know what's going on with the takedowns and the kicks and the octagon control. They don't do any of that. They're just useless.
I don't understand what their criteria is anymore. I know they've started making 10-8 rounds a thing, and they should not be. And it's unacceptable how poor they are at their jobs. So I am all in favor of firing them all and hire more. Hire new ones. Hire some with some experience.
Yeah.
They're just boxing judges like Chris Lee. But tonight he didn't do that bad. I mean, he scored the fight for Macy Barber. Mm-hmm. She won by a split decision. But he scored the fight for Miranda Maverick. I mean, there might be smoking crack somewhere else. We don't know. We don't know. They're smoking a joint with Diaz brothers. We don't know. All we know is they're terrible at their job. They're robbing people of their win. I mean, your fights. We don't know what the hell is going on with these judges, or maybe have people pick the wins like PFL is doing.
I think that would be a terrible idea. I the only people that would be worse at judging fights than the judges would be the people of the sport, because then there's a big popularity contest in that. I would hire more judges. I'd have 9 judges instead of 3. But yeah, you get Conor McGregor would still be undefeated. You just
exactly
have the guy with the most fans would win every fight.
No. My point is like, let's say have 8 judges in there, and one judge is like all the fans out there scoring the fight. That would be a little bit better, right? I mean, it's a little bit hard. It's gonna be hard, but I don't know. We can't figure this judging thing out. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be it's a problem. It needs to be fixed. We should have MMA judges judging MMA fights, boxing judges judging boxing fights.
The problem is that everyone in MMA. I mean, I've scored things wrong before, and I've got more experience than just about anyone. There's something in the how to score fights, that is wrong. The 10-8 should not be allowed anymore. There should be no 10-8s in fights. It just
10-8s in MMA
criteria, so it makes a little more sense.
Yeah, 10-8 shouldn't be in MMA, especially 3-rounders, because guy wins 1 round and gets his ass kicked in the next 2 rounds. He gets a draw. He doesn't lose. He got his ass kicked, but he doesn't lose. Mm-hmm. 10-8 should. I mean, even if they don't want to fully remove 10-8, they should just put it for the main event and 5-rounders. I think that would be a little bit better, but it's not gonna fix everything.
Get rid of 10-8s altogether. 10-8s are a boxing criteria. Boxing, you have 10 rounds to 12 rounds, I think occasionally 15 rounds. If you get a 10-8 round, you have time to make up that pace. You have time to make up that round. In MMA, whether it be 3 or 5 rounds, if you get 1 10-8 round, that's the fight. There's no reason to fight anymore. And every round is supposed to be scored independently of one another. And now they're scoring things. Well, if the first round was close and the second, and it's just they're overthinking it. There's a winner and a loser of every round. Just pick that and don't worry about the rest.
Exactly, like 10-8. If in a 5-rounder you win 10-8, the first round is 10-8, then you gotta win all the rounds to win the fight. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with the 10-8. So let's get away from that. So you got a fight coming up. You're in shape. How's the camp going? Is it great? How's it going?
Yeah, I had a fantastic camp. I feel really good about where I'm at, and looking forward to this week. It's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun indeed. And just one thing I just wanted to ask you. You watched the 264, right?
I don't
UFC
remember
UFC 264.
who fought.
McGregor main
Oh,
event.
that one. There's a fight every weekend. I never remember which one I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that win was legitimate, knowing that it didn't come from Poirier chicken the kick?
He absolutely checked the kick. He checked it with his elbow, and he stopped kick. No, it was completely legitimate. McGregor's a crybaby for whining like he is, and yeah, I mean, had McGregor whooped Poirier's ass like the entire fight, and then broken his foot, you'd have something to argue on. But McGregor kind of got beat up for the entire fight, and
Yeah.
then about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And so yeah, McGregor doesn't have a foot to stand on, literally. Pun not intended.
He doesn't have a foot. So, I mean, he didn't check it with his leg, but he hit the elbow, and he said he had the stress fractures. I don't even know what that is. It's like the small little cracks. What was his game plan if he's got a fractured leg? Why kick?
I don't know. I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know why that was his plan, but hindsight's 2020. He should have had a different plan.
Exactly. Like his coach was saying that we were happy with how the round ended. Do you think he's trying to be like, we don't care? We were going to win, even though we lost the first round.
Yeah, McGregor's already trying to sell the rematch, and that's his opportunity to sell the rematch there. So everything they say is to try and make a fourth fight happen.
Yeah. Do you think if a fourth fight happens, it's gonna be, if McGregor wins, it's gonna be 2-2? Is there gonna be a fifth fight?
There's not gonna be a fourth one.
There's not gonna be a fourth one. I don't think there's gonna be a fourth one.
Yeah.
But if it happens, if Conor wins, do you think it's gonna be a fifth one? Which I don't think that's gonna happen.
There won't be one. So no, there won't be a fifth one. There's not gonna be a fourth one.
Look, let's say fourth one happens, Conor wins.
No.
Dana's gonna come out.
Conor never beats Poirier ever again.
Let's say in some reality he beats him.
Holy hell! It is not happening. There is no fifth fight ever, and under any circumstances, there will not be a fifth fight.
No, there's not gonna be a fifth fight. If Dana comes out and says, I don't count this trilogy as a legitimate win for Poirier, I'm gonna make that fight a no contest, all that, do you think that a fifth one should happen then?
Yeah, no fifth fight. No fifth fight.
So all you sitting there quiet, you don't have a camera, we kind of forgot about you. Why don't you ask Sam a couple of questions?
Who did you think won, Sanhagen or TJ?
He hasn't watched the
fight. Yeah, I didn't see any of it. I was cornering some of my teammates.
He didn't watch the fight. Okay. Ask a couple little more questions. He came in unprepared. Yeah, he blew his knee out like yesterday riding a motorcycle. Motorcycle.
No, bike.
No, you're 14. You're not allowed to. I'm allowed to ride one. I ride one like every day. So you just think about questions. I got one thing to ask you. It's January 1st, 2022. Who's the lightweight champion?
Lightweight 55. You know what? I don't know. Poirier's got as good a chance as anyone. I could see Poirier. I could see Chandler being champion again, or for the first time in the UFC. Yeah, so I don't know. The division's kind of wide open. Oliveira is very good, and I could see him holding the title as well. But it really is open for anyone right now.
Exactly. Habib leaves. and Poirier was busy with Connor. There was Chandler. Chandler comes in with great round. He showed that he can win, but let's say Oliveira beats Poirier and Chandler fights again. Do you think Chandler can beat him again in the second fight if that happens ever again?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I think he's a very talented fighter. I think he's got all the tools to be the champion. And I would love to see him be the champion.
Yeah, I love him too. And I think he had the tools to beat him. He just got caught with a good shot. Like people get always caught with a good shot, and he went down. If he wants to, if he fights Oliver again, what do you think his game plan will be?
The same game plan, just try not to get punched.
Exactly, because he saw that Oliveira has the power to knock him out.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Same with Chandler. Chandler dropped him and nearly knocked him out. I mean, I was standing on my feet screaming. My dad threw a shoe at me, like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
It was like 6, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. Like, time zone's a bitch. We all know that. And if that happens again, Chandler might beat him. He got caught with a good shot. He went backwards. That's what Oliveira did, and he got kind of caught, dropped, and knocked out. That was the game plan, I think, for Oliveira to push him backwards.
Yeah,
Chandler moves in a straight line, and if you bring the knee up, he can't go around because he's used to going forward. And if you're not used to going around and all that's gonna be a little bit difficult, so you push back. You go back, and that's the game. That was the game plan.
Yes, sir.
So let's not talk about that anymore.
Hey, going to my practice here in a second. If you've got another question you'd like me to answer, could we do that?
Yeah, I got a question for you. So heavyweight interim title is on the line. So who do you think will be the interim champion?
Probably, how's it pronounced? Gagne or Gain? Gone. Yeah, I'm taking. I love old boy. My balls is hot, but he's not a very technical fighter, and Gone really is.
Exactly. So Gone, do you think his game plan is to try to wrestle with Derek Lewis, or stay on the outside and kicks, get him tired?
People have proven that they can outstrike Derek Lewis. They can hit him as often as they want, and I think that's what Gane will do. Is he'll get out there and he'll start kicking, he'll start punching, he'll hit from a different distance. I could see Gane winning via knockout even.
Knockout, interesting. So let's say Gane wins. What are his chances against the champion?
No, I'll never bet against Nagano. Nagano hits too hard. He's too powerful. So yeah, he is my first choice to win and hold the title for as long as he wants.
So if Gane beats Ngannou, who's gonna be next? Who's gonna be next for him? Dana said it's Miocic. Do you think Miocic should come out and fight again after that horrible knockout?
Yeah, I could see Stipe beating Gane as well. I think Stipe's got a lot more tools than Gane. So I could see a world where Stipe is the next champion.
Maybe in like mid 2022, Stipe is the champion again. So that's what you're trying to say.
It could definitely happen.
So, great. So you want to leave for the practice, all right?
Yeah. Yes. So much for having me on. I really appreciate talking to you guys, and your podcast really inspire.
Thank you so much. So before you leave, rate our podcast from 1 to 10. Give us a number.
Let's say 8.5. How's that?
Thank you so much. You are a legend. You've been in the sport for a long time. We all love you. Thank you for all the amazing fights. Hope you win your fight Saturday night. And goodbye. Good luck.
For you.
All right, we'll catch you guys later, my friends.
Catch you guys.
Bye.
Catch you later. Bye.
See
Hey, fight lovers, how y'all doing? So, I was just editing the podcast, and all of a sudden, after Sam Alvey leaves, I saw that my face is like this. It's like you can't see the lower half of my face, so sorry for the technical problems. We're still new, we're still learning, and and enjoy the rest of the podcast, boys.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Sam Alvey just left us. We did a little bit of interview. He unfortunately he had to leave. Thank you so much, Sam Alvey. Just a couple of things I wanted to point out before we leave. Like we got a couple of minutes. How long do we have, Ollie?
10 minutes.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes.
So one thing we know is Sam's going to win.
Exactly. I think his game plan should be. I'm not familiar with Kopylov, but I think his game plan should be like the always, land bombs. And I think if he lands bombs, he's gonna win the fight. And I'm rooting for him. My money's on him.
I've got second round. I've got something in the second round.
I got him winning by knockout in the third round.
I've got beat him. Like you were saying about Strickland, I don't see him winning. I see Hall knocking him out.
So you're going with Hall, I'm going with Strickland, he's going with Strickland. So let me bring the card up. So
it's actually I'm watching it because
it's a decent card. It's a decent
co-main event. It looks kind of nice.
Co-main event is not that bad. I mean, it's a good
rank fighters. So, I think Chris.
So let me tell you about Roman Kopylov. He's 8-1. He's 30 years old. He's shorter.
He's 6 foot, isn't he? 6 foot.
He's 6 foot, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. All right.
He's got a shorter reach.
Boy,
just. And he has less experience. So I think, that's my prediction. Sam Alvey is gonna win in the third round.
It's also Roman's second fight in the UFC.
It's his second fight in the UFC. I didn't know that. Wait a minute, I didn't know.
9th of November 2019, and he got submitted round 3 by Carl Robertson.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it now. UFC Moscow. It was a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was Sabat versus Kate, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zabit Magomedov versus Calvin Kattar.
That was the last.
So he got submitted. That was his first professional loss. It was UFC Fight Night 163, Moscow, Russia. The same card as, you pointed out.
To be fair to Roman, I've never heard of him.
Exactly, I've never heard of him either. Like I'm looking at the card right now.
He's
I know every single fight here.
His last fight, he's had a couple of cancelled fights in the UFC though.
Against who? Do you know who was
Eric
supposed to fight?
Spicely.
So go. Oh, that's a good one.
And Tom Breeze.
Oh, so he was supposed to fight Tom Breeze. Tom Breeze.
Yeah, in the third. Oh, what card was it then? October 2020.
It was
3rd of October. Was it? I don't even know.
It was against Omari Akhmedov, right? What? It was Chiesa versus Magny. So Tom Breeze lost his last fight. I think that fight.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
That was a good fight. That's a good fight too. Kopylov, I don't know much about him. I think I have to watch this fight with Sam Alvey. If he beats Sam Alvey, which I don't think he will. I mean, he was
Oh, that was
undefeated.
a fight.
He was undefeated. He came into the UFC. He lost the fight. All of that. We know that. But
we have to remember, one loss can change a fighter's career. It can turn them into a beast.
yeah, one loss can change you. It can turn you into a beast. 25 streak,
He's only
UFC
been
champ.
pro since 2016. So 5 years.
So he has the experience. He's been pro for 6 years. Uh, but he doesn't have that much fight. So it must.
He's a knockout specialist.
He's a knockout specialist. So that's going to be a great one. That's going to be a great fight against Sam Alvey.
Yeah.
Both
Eight of his 7 wins have come by. 7 of his 8 wins have come by knockout.
Great. Knockout versus knockout. Who's going to get the knockout? Sam Alvey might get the knockout. He will get the knockout.
This is Sam. I feel like he's going to put on a clinic because this fight, if he loses, this might be the last time we see him in the UFC.
Maybe they'll keep him because he won the Ryan Span. And
he won that.
Judges, man, like we talked about it. The judges. I think judges should stop smoking crack for one minute.
His 6-fight losing streak. Well, not like 5. He has lost to Jimmy Crute, who is a very good fighter. Ryan Spann, and he's just fought some good fighters.
Exactly. So let's say the times that he got knocked out was, let's say those. Look, let's say those were legitimate wins.
Yeah.
So he's gone 2-3-1, 2-3. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not that bad.
It should be 3-3 with the draw.
It should be 3-3. Yeah, it should be. That might be the reason they haven't cut him yet. But why cut a guy like Sam Alvey, who always brings in joy, who always brings excitement to the fights, is a great fighter, and he's 3-3 in his last 6. It doesn't matter. He was robbed in his last 6 fights, in 3 of those at least. I think that's the reason they didn't cut him. I mean, Woodley, look at Tyron Woodley, for example. He's a former champion. One of the greatest welterweights in his prime. He was one of the greatest welterweights in his prime. He goes out there, loses 4-0, gets cut. Well, he clearly lost those fights. I mean, he lost to Usman, dominated by Usman, dominated by Burns, dominated by what's his name? Colby Covington, dominated by Luque. All of that. Finished by Luque. He was dominated. He did some good, but
he rocked Luque early on though.
He rocked him, but he got rocked himself, and he got dropped, and he got knocked. He was choked out. He was put to sleep.
That was a lovely Darce.
Yeah, that was a great Darce. First ever submission loss for Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
That's the reason they cut him. That's the reason they cut him. He lost.
And he wanted to go to boxing.
He lost those fights. He got cut. Sam Alvey didn't lose 3 of those his last 6 fights.
Just look where. Imagine where he would have been if they gave him the Ryan Spann fight. He'd be a ranked fighter.
He would be a ranked fighter, like maybe like top 15.
He would have fought. Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker. He would knock out Johnny Walker. With all due respect.
What?
Johnny Walker is fighting Thiago Santos, who's a heavy hitter. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he would fight Johnny Walker if he deserves a ranked opponent if he wins this one. Who's the number 15 ranked right now in the middleweight division? I think it's Brad Tavares, right?
I don't think so. I think he moved up a bit.
Number 30, that's not too high, that's not too low.
I've got it up.
He wins this fight, he fights Brad Tavares. How about that?
Kevin Holland 14, but he's booked.
Or he wins this fight, he fights Kevin Holland after Kevin Holland is done with that fight.
Yeah, it is. Wait. All right. Yeah. I think Kevin Holland's fighting an unranked fighter.
An unranked fighter. Look, Kevin Holland lost his last 2 fights. He got dominated. He worked his wrestling. Now he should show that he got the wrestling thing figured out. I believe that if his takedown defense hasn't improved, it's gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad for him.
Oh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go.
What about that fight?
What fight?
Jimmy Crute versus Hill.
Versus who?
Hill.
I can't hear you. Sorry.
Hill. No, Paul Craig broke his arm. Craig. No.
Jamal Hill. He's fighting Jamal Hill?
Who?
Jimmy Crute.
Yeah, 14 against 15. 2nd of October.
That's great. That's a banger fight.
That's good matchmaking.
That's a good matchmaking. I
looked at the rankings
injury. Injury losses. Both got injury losses. That's a great matchup.
Yeah, that Jimmy Crute injury was nasty.
One got his arm snapped. Great fight. It's gonna be a banger. I got Jimmy Crute winning by knockout. I think Jamal Hill should have taken some.
Hill is very lucky that the arm injury wasn't serious.
I know it's not that serious, but he should have taken some time off. Let's be honest. You break your arm, you should take some time off. He should have taken some time off.
Especially when he fought at UFC 263, I think.
He fought at 263. He got his arm snapped in half.
Which was that was only like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, he should have.
I love that card.
Should have taken the rest of the year off, I believe.
Yeah. Jimmy Crute's injury was only like nerves, I think.
But nerves, it heals like in a couple of weeks, like 5 weeks. It's completely gone. That injury will be gone in a couple of weeks. But
yeah, it was just a nerve thing, like Henry Cejudo had against Johnson.
That was against Marlon Rice.
What?
Just like Henry Cejudo and Marlon Rice. His leg. It was Marlon Rice or DJ. I think it was DJ.
When he twisted his ankle in the first round.
Or like Michael Chandler and Bellator when he was fighting Brad Primus.
He twisted it. That was bad.
All these injuries are bad, man. I don't like to see a fighter injured in the middle of a fight, losing a fight by an injury. Yeah. I mean,
feels like
look at those fights, man. I mean, Uriah Hall. That was a bad snap. It was even worse than Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva snapped his leg and laid on his back. Chris Weidman snaps his leg and goes bang. His foot touched the shin. That's bad. Like his foot touched the knee. It bent in half.
Wait, I want to check.
Look at this. It's not this is not supposed to touch this. If it bends like that.
I used to every day after that fight. I used to check on his Instagram, Twitter about his recovery.
Yeah. Look, let me rate this like this leg breaks that happened in the couple fights. Like, that was McGregor, Poirier.
He's back in training.
Who? McGregor?
No, Chris Weidman.
Chris Weidman is also McGregor is also training back
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. He's just doing like workouts.
Yeah, I mean it's not that bad. Just don't put pressure on the leg and you'll be fine.
Yeah, he's not
So
doing any leg stuff.
yeah. So
He's
let
just
me check.
doing.
Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman, Uriah Hall, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. Out of these three, which one was the worst?
Weidman, Anderson, Connor. That's my order. Worst.
Weidman Silva, Conor Poirier, and Weidman Hall, right?
Yeah.
Mine is Weidman
Yeah.
Silva, Weidman Hall, Weidman Silva, McGregor Poirier. Because let's say if McGregor is telling the truth, he was injured before the fight. Why throw leg kicks? I said it with Sam Alvey. That was not a good game plan.
Yeah. Why didn't he just throw dick pics? Dick kicks.
Exactly. Why don't you throw dick kicks? I mean, why would you kick his leg if it was injured before the fight? Like, I was injured before going into a tournament. I was a ninjutsu fighter. It's like MMA, but you can bring weapons into the ring. But people wouldn't bring the thing. It was 3 2-minute rounds. I went in there the first round. I go out there and kick my opponent as hard as they can. I'm a kicker. I like to kick. I kicked his leg like really bad, and I went to the corner and I sat down. After a couple of minutes, the adrenaline level was going down, and I felt this pain in my ankle. And I went out there and I just completely switched the stance. I'm not saying I'm a better fighter than Conor. I'm not better than Conor, obviously. You know, he's a world champion. I'm not. So let's not say that I'm trying to say that I'm better than Conor.
Oh yeah, and do you know why UFC 267 is a non-pay-per-view event?
Why?
Because the week after we have UFC 268.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in New York. I read a tweet last night about
who's fighting on 268? Who's fighting on 268?
Well, rumors of Nate Diaz, Sean O'Malley.
Oh, Nate Diaz. He said I'm fighting MSG.
Yeah.
Fuck. He's fighting MSG. 268. Nate Diaz is back. Who's he gonna fight though? Who's he gonna fight? Maybe that's a good fight. Masvidal's gonna beat him again. Nate Diaz is not gonna. Sorry, go on.
It's going to definitely. He says he's come back to lightweight, but it's going to be a welterweight.
If he's fighting at lightweight, who's he fighting? McGregor's injured. He's not gonna fight. He's suspended until January 2022. Who's he gonna fight if that fights at lightweight? Dustin Poirier? But
no,
Dustin's
he's definitely
going for
the
December.
belt.
He said this is gonna be in December. So who's he gonna fight if it's at lightweight? Maybe Masvidal's moving down to lightweight. You don't know.
No, I don't think he
I
would.
doubt it. And I don't know if I heard this right, but I think Dana White came out and said 165 is happening, weight division. 165-pound weight division is going to happen. Did you heard that?
About what?
About 165-pound weight division.
No.
I think I'm being wrong, but I think Dana said something about 165. I don't know. I don't quite remember, but I think he said something about 165. If it happens, I'm saying McGregor's going to that weight class. Masvidal's going to that weight class.
Nate
Nate is going to that weight class. Three superstars in one weight class.
Poirier loses to Oliveira, I can see him going there.
If he loses to Oliveira and
He's a big lightweight.
He's a big lightweight. He said he's struggling to make lightweight now. So let's say there's a 165 weight class. It's gonna be Poirier in it. It's gonna be McGregor. Poirier if he loses to.
Guess what I saw? Someone commented on Alexander Volkov's Instagram saying, "Are you gonna ever be a double champ?" And he said, "Yeah, next year."
Who? Dustin?
No, Alex Volkanovski.
Volkanovski. He is to lightweight.
Yeah. He will move to bantamweight.
I don't think he's gonna move to bantamweight. He's too big for bantamweight.
Yeah, so it has to be lightweight.
He's a guy who made his debut at 185 pounds.
Yeah, and he had to. And then he cut. And then I think he lost his pro debut. I'm not sure.
No, he didn't lose his pro debut. I think he went 9-0, and then he got knocked out. We got head kick and punches.
Wait, I can check now.
Check it now, but
he went 3-0.
3-0, and oh my bad. He goes
and then got knocked out, head kick
and punches. I remember that. That was head kick and punches. Same his second fight with Holloway.
His first fight was at welterweight.
I mean, he used to weigh 265 pounds, 285 pounds.
His debut was at 185.
His
debut was at 185, and then he cut to 170, and then he went to
lightweight and featherweight.
Yeah.
That's he's the champion.
It's mad. So he went 3-1, and he's won 19 in a row.
Exactly. He went 3-1 and he won 19 in a row. Great fight cards. Great champion.
He should be on a 1-fight losing streak, though.
About his last fight?
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to bring that up. I was watching it live. I don't want to bring that up. I mean, Max Holloway won, in my opinion. He won 3 rounds to 2, 48-47. I'm not saying it's a. I don't want to say it's a robbery. It was a robbery. I don't want to say what's his name? Volkanovski won either. It was not a close fight. It was hard to judge.
We all know Max Holloway's going to be champion soon.
Max, if Ortega beats Volkanovski, which I think he will, he goes on to fight Max. Max beats him, becomes a champion. Then there's a trilogy with Volkanovski.
Yep.
You see what I did there?
Ortega's going to choke him out, I think.
I think he will beat Volkanovski. He will choke him out. He will submit him. Then he will fight Max Holloway.
I know how you were thinking that McGregor's going to choke Poirier out.
Sorry, what?
No, when you were saying Poirier's going to choke him.
Yeah.
No, McGregor's going to choke Poirier out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had a mad dream last night. Round 3, Volkov knocks him down with an overhand, and then he try and get a finish, and then triangle choke from Ortega.
Exactly. Dude, we're having fucking dreams. So let me tell the story, and we're gonna stop the podcast.
Oh yeah, you're meant to tell the story. Go ahead.
I don't think you guys are gonna believe me. I don't believe it either. Like couple of weeks before the fight, like the first episode, if you watch the fight, the first episode, I said McGregor's gonna win by submission. I was completely what's the word I'm looking for? I was completely confident that McGregor's gonna win by submission.
Yeah.
So this is the dream I had. I was in the octagon. In the middle of the octagon, I see Connor jumping guillotine. Poirier taps. Then all of a sudden, there's McGregor, referee Herb Dean, Poirier, and Bruce Buffer is saying, "For your winner, we are submission due to a guillotine choke, the notorious Conor McGregor." 2 days before the fight, I was in the crowd, and I was in the crowd, and next to me it was me. I was standing next to myself, but that me was like from couple months ago. Back then, I used to dye my hair brown. I used to have brown hair. I would shave the beard like I did here. I used to have brown hair. And everybody was like, "Oh!" Everybody was screaming, and I asked myself, "What happened?" He goes, "Someone broke his leg." And I asked, "Who?" And I woke up. That's 2 days before the fight. One sleep before the fight, I was in the middle of the octagon, and there's Connor sitting there. John Kavanagh is talking to him. He's talking like, "Relax, it's okay. You got injured, all that." And Connor is pointing at me, telling me, "Hey," pointing at me as pointing at his left leg. Like, "Hey, look at my left leg. It's snapped. Look at my left leg. Look at my left leg." And I was shocked. And I woke up, and out of nowhere, Connor snaps his left leg. And he's sitting there, the exact same. It's so mind blowing. And this thing happened before, but it was UFC 261. But this one wasn't a dream. This one was a what do you call it? I was just riding my motorcycle, and I was thinking about the fight. Like it was like 2 days
a
before
thought
the fight.
process.
Yeah, I was like thinking about it. Like this happens, and it just hit me with a shock. Masvidal was getting knocked out in the second round by Kamaru Usman. I was like, "Nah, this is not gonna happen," and it happened.
I said that Kamaru Usman is going to dominate him for 5 rounds.
I was like, and I saw. Do you know do you see that when you search it on Google, like UFC 261, it comes up and there's Kamaru and there's Masvidal. There's like you click on it and there's the stats. Do you know the website, right?
Yeah, I think so.
When you go on Google, you search UFC 261, it brings you to this page, and you click on it, and it shows you the fight stats, right? And I remember, and it kept coming in my head, like I was seeing that thing. Kumaru's thing was green, and it said KO TKO round 2.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that was
one
coming
knock.
to my head.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm on it.
That was in my head. That was in my head all the time. So enough bullshit. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Be sure to tell your friends about us. And we'll see you on Tuesday. We got a great guest coming on the show. I'm not going to say his name. It's a surprise. Make sure to watch the next one. Ollie, stop the recording.